Yo, what is up YouTube? Today we are going to go over the Narita Brian banner as well as the banner for Sakura Chiyono. Oh, that's an SSR stamina card. And Seeking the Pearl, this is the SR Guts card that is going to be coming out for the August release schedule. It's on August 20th, 10 p.m. UTC. So this is going to cut into the Taurus Cup event. The last day to register, I believe, is on the 25th, if I'm not mistaken. This banner has some relevancy for Taurus Cup, but let's take a look at the character Narita Brian for Sakura Chiyono, the Seeking the Pearl, and see exactly if these cards are worth pulling, or if you do happen to pull them, what their use case is and how are they useful. Maybe you're a starting out player and you pull these cards and you're wondering if they're good or not, right? Narita Brian. Narita Brian is a pretty good medium pace chaser runner. She's not an essential parent, but she is a pretty good runner. She's very similar to Special Week. If you look at Special Week, she has home stretch haste. She has a velocity skill in the late race. Narita Brian also has a velocity skill on the final corner, so it's very likely in the late race. She also has home stretch haste. She has in body and mind. Special Week has in body and mind. They're very, very similar Umas to one another. Narita Brian, though, is going to have 10% speed, 20% stamina. These are really nice growth rates for pretty much any horse. You have aptitudes over here for turf, mile and long, pace and lay. Very standard run-of-the-mill aptitudes for most Uma Musume. Shadow Break increases velocity with beastly strength when passing another runner on the outside on the final corner or later. So a few conditions, but if the final corner is able to kind of lead into the late race, you can get a velocity boost leading into the late race, giving you a leg up on reaching your top speed, which is nice. And you have over here 35 centimeters per second for 5 seconds. That's a pretty good unique skill. This is going to be on the final corner or later, right? This doesn't mean it needs to be on the final corner. It could be later. It is going to be on the corner. You need to be in second place or later, so you cannot be first place. You have to be passing someone, right? And it's a pretty wide window. You could be anywhere between second and seventh place in Champions Meeting. And is behind in means that the horse that Narita Brian is passing needs to be closer to the inside track. So basically, it's going to look something like this, where Narita Brian is passing someone from the outside. If someone is closer to the inside track, she's using this skill to pass someone from the outside on the final corner. Besides that, you just need to be passing someone, right? It's when you are passing, I'm pretty sure. Change order time less than 0 is when you've overtaken the other Uma Musume. So this is after you've done so. After you've passed someone, that is when the skill activates and is able to give you more velocity. Besides that, what innate skills does she have? Is it pretty good? Straightaway Adept is okay. It is 0.9 seconds, 15 centimeters per second. It does have a cooldown, so you could use it off like more times in a race. However, it's a base cost of 170. This is a very expensive skill that I don't really recommend getting very often. It's the white version of Beeline Burst, which is not typically regarded as a very good skill. Medium Straightaways, however, is a fantastic skill. Now, if you were to compare these two, Straightaway Adept to Medium Straightaways, look at this. 3-second duration, 15 centimeters per second. That's the same value you get from Straightaway Adept with a much higher duration, right? And the only conditions for this is that you need to be on a medium track and you need to be on a straightaway. So this is very, very cost efficient. It's very, very powerful, and it's one of the best skills you can have for a medium racetrack. Preferred position is a pace chaser healing skill. It's going to activate during the mid race, and I'm pretty sure you just need to be a pace chaser, needs to be mid race, and you need to be 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st in a Champions Meeting. So very flexible, right? You need to be within the top half of the rankings. Very good wide skill in terms of conditions, and so it's a pretty nice healing skill. Home stretch haste is, you know what, you love it. It's a very nice skill to kind of edge out a victory at the very end. Beeline burst, pretty much not a very good one. Lone wolf is good, especially for career mode, because pretty much no one in career, your rivals, your enemies, are going to have Lone Wolf, so you just get this 40 speed boost to help you win a lot of races. However, it's not anything you would want to be like, oh my god, I'm so excited to spend 2 Dream Glitters and all these shoes and all these sashes for, you know what I mean? So it's there. It's not amazing, but it's, you know, it's good for career and it's nice to take away Lone Wolf from people in a PvP setting or benefit from it. So it's a pretty good skill. Besides that, you have In Body and Mind level 5. This is the gold version of Homestretch Haste, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, gold version of Homestretch Haste. Very, very nice skill. Same skill as Special Week. And it's going to activate pretty much at always the relevant timing to give you that last speed boost at the very end. So very nice racer for sure. You get passing pro from events, but this is a long distance healing skill, not too crazy. But in terms of her career is pretty, how would you say? There's a lot of difficult races. There's the Satsuki Show, there's the Tokyo Yushin, the Kika Show, you have the Tenno Show Spring, you have Japan Cup, you have Arima Kinen, you have all the works. You want to win Arima Kinen basically twice, right? So it's a pretty prestigious career. And Narita Brian, I believe, had pretty good rivals. So her career should be pretty fun, if anything, if not challenging. That said, I'm not too sure if she has any scripted events. For what I could say as far as like her utility, her sort of uniqueness as a racer, I would say she's a pretty solid pace chaser, not an essential parent. And so my verdict on if you should pull Narita Brian is if you like her a lot, and that's about it. If you like Narita Brian a lot, you should pull her, but there are so many pace chasers, there are so many medium distance runners, so many late surgers. She's not an essential part to anyone's lineup. She's just really pull for her if you like her. Okay. Moving on, you have a Sakura Chiyono, the SSR stamina card. And this card is not that great. It's okay for a sort of stamina card in terms of getting the right hints. You notice that from an event, she has Spring Runner, and this is a choice event you can get. There's no downsides to it. Spring Runner is perfect. It's great for Taurus Cup, and it's also good for the upcoming Gemini Cup because they take place during the spring. It's a nice 40 speed boost. It's guaranteed, and it can upgrade into the double circle, give you 60 speed. So very, very good skill. However, that's kind of it. Like, Speed Star is not that great. It's not really worth the cost, in my opinion. You do have medium corners, which is good. You have Pace Chaser Savvy, which is nice for like pace chasers. You can see that this is a card that is very well suited for Taurus Cup, not necessarily for Gemini Cup, which is going to be a long distance track, but Spring Runner is a highly coveted skill, and so you're going to see a lot of whales sort of get this card, and so you're probably going to want to borrow a max limit break version from a whale in order to prepare for a certain context. Like if you're doing a Gemini Cup parent run, then borrow Sakura Chiyono, try to get that Spring Runner and pass it down as, or rather have it as a spark for your parent Uma Musume to pass down to the trainee. Not a bad idea, especially because it is a stamina card, because Gemini Cup is a long distance Gemini Cup is a long distance champions meeting, so stamina cards are definitely going to be used a lot. Okay. Good card to borrow, not a must pull by any means. If you're getting like 1 limit break, 0 limit break, it's a very subpar stat stick. You don't even have, well, you do have 5% training effectiveness, my bad. The specialty priority is 25. And stamina is the type of skill or type of stat that you really want to train, especially on long distance Umas. So having low specialty priority is going to hurt it quite a bit. This is a card for parents. It is not a card for aces, in my opinion. It is not a card for runners. You want this card to borrow for raising a good parent Uma Musume. Moving on from Sakura Chiyono, we have Seeking the Pearl, the SR Guts card. This card is okay. This card is okay in terms of Guts cards, how they go. You do have like a pretty high, if max limit break, a 40% friendship bonus. However, there is no training effectiveness. In contrast to Haru Urara, the friend point card that you get, and you can max limit break with just friend points, this card is fantastic because of the training effectiveness, 15%. Seeking the Pearl doesn't have that at all, okay? She does have 40% friendship bonus, but if she doesn't have training effectiveness, what does that mean? It means with 50 specialty priority, you're wanting to train Guts with Seeking the Pearl. She does have the skill point bonus. She does have skill frequencies, hint frequencies. She has pretty good skills to pass down. However, she just doesn't have that training effectiveness, that roaming capability that Haru Urara has. And so as a stat stick, she's pretty subpar. As a roaming support, she's pretty subpar. But as a skill holder, she has firm conditions. You have pace strategy. These are fantastic skills. But otherwise, she's very geared towards sprint and mile distance runners. And even then, like, this one's pretty good. Sprint straightaways is good. But sprinting gear is like pretty high cost. You have unyielding spirit, which is a decent cost for mile. And you have what I really like about the Seeking the Pearl is the Uma stand. Uma stand right now currently is only being held by a SSR gold chip card. Nobody runs rare cards, right? And gold chip is like the only character who has it. So for end closers, for late surgers, Uma stand is something that will proc pretty often. It's a 3-second, 15 centimeter per second, and it's usually very easy to pull off. So as a skill card, okay, sure. She has the utility of Uma stand. She has firm conditions, pace strategy. But other than that, it's just quite subpar, I would say. Besides that, you do have some good events, like you have a mood choice, or you could pick the energy. That's always really nice. She also has some pretty energy events on her random event, energy and mood, right? But other than that, it's just not really a card that's very exciting, not a card that has particularly good usage on its own. Sakura Chiyono, by the way, I think we skipped this, but her events are pretty good. Again, random event can give you Spring Runner, right? It could also give you some energy and skill points, right? You also have, I believe, over here, 30 skill points on the bottom option for her third chain event. This is pretty good. She has pretty good events. But again, I think for sure with Sakura Chiyono, this is a card you're going to want to borrow. So is Narita Brian a must pull? No. Pull if you like. Is Sakura Chiyono a must pull? No. Borrow this card to raise good parents for specific contexts, especially if you want Spring Runner. Is Seeking the Pearl a card that is going to warrant the must pull for her combined banner with Sakura Chiyono? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is a pretty safe skip banner, but if you happen to pull these cards, hopefully this video was helpful to you to understand exactly what kind of cards you have, how to play them, the characters that you like, and yeah, like and sub if you guys enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful. I'm live every day on Twitch and YouTube, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.